Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the semifinals here for round 2 of the 2015 Pro League. My name is Wolf. I've got Moonglade here with me tonight, and this is going to be a great match, Moonglade.
This is going to be so good, man. I'm so excited for this one. JinAir versus KT. Got a sick match to start things off. TY versus Trap. Damn, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be on Vaani Research Station as well as we have a look at these teams.
You know, the depth of the JinAir roster is so strong right now. They have so many good snipers they can rely on. Whereas KT really relied on stats yesterday. He was really their hero. And I feel like SKT just was hoping that they could actually take this guy out. They even tried to use some weird picks like Sari, for example. I think the decision-making we saw from SKT might have bit them a little bit in the backside. But I definitely feel like this is going to be a much closer match, and I don't think that KT Rolls is going to rely on stats alone today. They're going to have to rely on other players as well.
Yeah, well, you know, Black didn't get a chance yesterday, and I'm sure he was going to be on the cards if we did see stats go down. And it's kind of interesting we're seeing this trend from KT. They're starting with these weaker Terran players. Like, they're clearly been weaker. They haven't been performing very well all season long, starting with Flash yesterday, starting with TY today. And TY, he has not been on the radar for quite some time.
No, he really hasn't. He seems to be kind of just taking a bit of a break, taking a bit of a breather, trying to hone his skills in the background. And there's a shot of Stats and Maru on the left side, probably the two big names of today. I think what everyone is hoping for to see, rather than that matchup, though, is actually Maru versus Life. I think that's the most anticipated.
Game 7, please.
Yeah.
That would be the dream right there.
That's what everyone is hoping we're going to see, Moonglade. Here are our maps. Trap versus TY starts off on Vaani, which is our repeat map. They're going into Merry-Go-Round, Deadwing. Sejong is game 4, so we're going to see that no matter what. Expedition lost. Overgrowth, though, is towards the end down there at game 6.
Yeah. See, I like this for a Terran pick if they get past Vaani Research, and they got Merry-Go-Round to go to, which is, you know, a good map against Zerg and Protoss. And then Deadwing kind of goes back to the Protoss favor again if you're going to look at it based on races and whatnot. Trap, if he wins this game, he's going to have to, you know, weather the storm on Merry-Go-Round, which is, I'm sure, what they're looking at.
Exactly. Let's take a look at points here for just a moment to remind kind of everyone where we're at here. KT Rolster actually surprisingly tied with StarTale, who had a terrible, terrible round 2 down at their last place. So a win today would actually further put KT Rolster ahead going into that final playoffs. And unfortunately down there for MVP, Samsung, and Prime, they're a bit behind. Yeah. For JinAir, they're just on the cusp of CJ.
Yeah, those last 3 teams, man, they got some catching up to do in round 3.
That they do. Just taking a look at this, MVP's Lucira is the only player that's not in the playoffs actually in this list. We talked about this, but look at all of those JinAir Green Wings players, Rogue, Maru, and Cure. Also got for KT, Stats, Life, and Zest, so 3 for each.
Here we look at the team data.
Yeah, for this you could see basically how many of these players have won, you know, say 4-2 in this all-kill format. You know, how they won their all-kill formats that they've had in the past, as well as the regular season wins. So not a great amount of data here, to be totally frank with you guys, but just one of those like weird, unique stat sheets that we get.
Yeah, one of those funky things to start the show. Better than that pie chart we had once upon a time where we questioned everything.
Yeah, that was when I was like, I don't even know if actually percentages add up to 100 anymore.
It's like, well, I think we got to have a sit down with these guys, because this pie chart ain't gonna do nothing.
No. So here you can see the records of these players, how well they did, how many points they got, and how many points they gave in their respective rounds. So you can see Maru and SOS kind of leading the charge here. Cure and Rogue as well, just having a great time. Pig Baby giving away a point, Symbol giving away 2 points, while a lot of players were traveling over at Gfinity. You can see Trap also not having the best record, but being fielded quite a bit more than he was on Incredible Miracle last year.
Yeah, I mean, look at SOS. He's had a bit of a rough patch this season in general, as we can see with that pink bar down there.
Yeah.
But he has been looking better and better. It seems like he's improving, showing a bit of the old SOS we know and love.
And look at that flash downwards pink arrow for round 1.
It's right at the bottom, almost.
He gave away 6 points, it looks like, down there.
Damn.
Zest, on the other hand, you know, he has a 6 points gained, but also 5 points given, so he's only got really a positive indicator of 1 for his team. Whereas Stats has really been the big man on campus. And Life also grabbing a few points as well, but Stats really pulling KT together, holding them together to get them into this playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
He even won the playoffs for them yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of vital to their success at this point going into the playoffs here.
We do have this esports festival. I'm not going to talk about it too much. Brennan and I kind of detailed it to you guys yesterday. You can go down to the World Cup Stadium, or actually no, the World Cup Park in Sangam-dong, which is, I guess, around the same area. And it's going to be on the 2nd of May to the 3rd of May from 12 to 8. So if you're in Korea and you want to check that out, go to that website down there at the bottom. Got some events here in the studio, some roulettes, some guessing games you can play. If you can't read this, you're probably not going to be able to figure it out, to be totally frank with you guys. If you go to the Pro League Facebook page, you can actually guess which player it is in a hidden picture. You might be able to do that without speaking Korean, and you might win a prize. But there's all sorts of prizes like coupons here in the studio for coffees we're going to have in the future, as well as World of Warcraft Collector's Editions, things like that.
It's pretty interesting stuff there. As we get ready for this game.
Yeah.
These raffles, man.
They're totally unrelated.
It doesn't help when it's in Korean, I'll say that much. Not for the English stream.
Yeah. So I'm just giving it to you guys, telling you guys straight, because, you know.
Well, thank God for you and Brennan, right? Otherwise, we would just have no idea. I wouldn't have any idea. I'm like looking at this like, well, I guess there's something going on.
There's something going on. There's a bunch of squiggles on that screen.
Well, I can read it. I just don't know what the stuff says.
Yeah,
oh,
sure. But yeah, there's some events going down here, but the most important thing is just come down here. The finals are going to be on Saturday, so be sure to come down for those because entry is free. Normally, I would say if you come here like even 20 minutes before the show, you're probably going to get a decent seat. But for the finals, I'd say 30 to 40 minutes probably, maybe an hour.
If you want a really good seat, probably an hour.
Yeah,
I'd have to say. We're not going to help you out at all with that either.
Yeah, it's all up to you. You gotta. It's first come, first serve. There's no reservations or anything like that. We don't do that.
No, we don't do that.
But it's all free, so don't worry about that.
Yep. Well, look at that. Prediction time. Two players, two casters, Korean casters, actually going for TY here.
Yeah.
Interesting. Could be based on the map. Vaani research, not bad at all for Terran players. Obviously, that puck and natural, great for dropping. Huge amount of airspace around the whole thing. But I don't know. Trap is just, I feel like, in such a better place right now.
Yeah, I
that was
so too.
Eerie silence, by the way. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it was really quiet.
That was really quiet. I just wanted to hear my voice, so I just talked.
Well, we didn't actually get to see the percentages of the casters, but I think Daehyun actually passed you slightly.
Oh man.
But he voted for Dark yesterday as well, so I guess we're all consistent because that was the only real vote we had yesterday. So
okay.
But all of our ratios are still above 60%, which is
nice.
Actually incredibly. It's incredibly unusual to have that kind of prediction rate. Like, we're all pretty good at this.
We're getting better.
Alrighty. Well, time to get this show on the road. By the way, if you're here in Korea and you want to text that number up to the top left, you can actually vote between these two players. Here's Trap stats, as we saw earlier up on screen. He's 3-3 this season. He's 1-1 versus Terran. He's played quite a few Pro League games in his career, including his time on STX Seoul back in StarCraft 1, and then an Incredible Miracle last year. So some experience with this guy. I think he's a good all-around player to send out first. You don't want to lose your first player if you can help it, one of your stronger ones.
Absolutely not. And I mean, this guy, he had a lot of success recently in the IEM World Championships. He did actually beat a couple of very impressive Terrans in best of fives, and they were Fantasy and Flash. So you know what, he's got some experience. Doesn't show in his Pro League records, but he's definitely got some.
Yeah. Now, this guy, as we were talking about before, just not as impressive this season as it was last season. He's 2-4, which is kind of the opposite of where he was at last season. He was at like 8-3 or something, and he was the Protoss killer. He was the only Terran who were consistently beating Protoss.
Oh man, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
Now he's 0-1 versus Protoss.
He really fell off the map, and I mean, I looked at this guy's stats, and he's just been playing a ton of online tournaments. And whenever a player is doing that, they're in a bad place, I have to say.
Yeah. That's when you're just trying to hone your skills. That becomes your practice, actually, is playing online tournaments.
If you don't get fielded in Pro League.
Exactly. All right, guys. We're going to start this one. Game number 1 on Vaani Research Station. Trap versus TY right now here at the semifinals of round 2. Down here in the green for JinAir Green Wings, it's Trap.
Up here in the red, the KT Rolster, it is TY.
Now, TY has really been known in this matchup. Hey, thanks for coming.
Hey, guys. Looking
Glad to
good.
have you.
Bang that together.
Bang it together, yeah. That's right. So, going into this, TY is known for, in this matchup, even actually last season, for doing Widowmine drops, doing aggressive medevac play. The votes are in. 62% of fans favor Trap here, versus 38% saying TY will take it.
Only 62%. Surprising, in my opinion. I feel like Trap is such an advantage going into this, just in terms of where he is at in ability.
Sure, and you know, Moonglade, Brendan and I were talking yesterday. Valdez and I are having a chat saying that we think part of the reason why some of these votes seem to be a bit skewed based off of fan preference rather than, you know, like it's almost like who they want to win or who they're cheering for rather than who they think is actually going to win. But if they get the guess wrong, they don't win a prize. So I feel like they should probably vote for who's like really strategically and statistically favored, but oftentimes they just vote for, I think, who they like. This guy's bringing some McDonald's down here.
Damn.
A McChicken, I think he brought.
It's not healthy.
Yeah, it's not healthy. But you know what? Sometimes you're in a rush. You got to get down to Pro League playoffs ASAP. You just got to pick up McDonald's on the way because you didn't have time to eat. You just came from work.
Well, there's a Subway, you know, at the station. You should at least go for the Subway.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
let's be real.
I go there all the time. They know me really well. They know me by name. They know exactly what I want. When I walk in, they start making it.
Damn, that is efficiency right there.
Yeah. I can even call ahead if I'm in a big hurry.
Oh.
We've got a CC first here from TY, by the way.
Yeah, nice and greedy to start things off.
Didn't really expect this, actually. I kind of expected him to play off of perhaps Trap's greed and try to do another one of those Widowmine drops.
Well, you know, he's in the same team as Flash, and if Flash does one thing, it is CC first in every single game. So maybe inspired by that. Surely TY has been struggling in recent times, and maybe he has been looking to Flash for the answers. As we did see, we did hear from Life once upon a time that Flash was the most successful player when it comes to practice time. Just doesn't find it when it comes to Pro League.
Yeah, he's definitely had some issues. We do see a scout here from Trap to just make sure there wasn't any 2 barracks proxy or even a Reaper proxy towards his base. And as SCV is going to come in here, he's going to have to watch that closely. And because the SCV is now headed to this backdoor expansion, he's going to have to keep the Zealot.
Oh,
did he just cancel
it? He canceled the Zealot.
Oh, that's not going to be good. He's definitely going to get eBay blocked here.
I don't think TY is going to actually go for it. Nope.
Huh. Okay.
Opportunity missed there.
Definitely a big opportunity missed.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake from Trap. But TY just playing straight up, man. He's just going on autopilot, not really taking advantage of anything just yet.
Well, he has mined a bit of gas here. And, ooh, not going to see that Stargate either. But he mines a bit of gas and starts that reactor.
Yeah, this is kind of like the very greedy version of the CC first. You know, this is kind of the danger version, because normally we'll see players add like a second and third racks before anything else, so they can get the bio out.
Yeah, and is this going to be a proxy, you think, Moonglade? Because he's got about 100 gas here.
I think. Well, he's making the factory in the main, but he could always put the starport down here, right?
Yeah. Looks like he's just checking for proxies instead.
Yeah.
A fair thing to do here.
And we already see that Stargate well on the way for Trap. It's going to be finished very soon.
Yeah, and you know, with this Stargate finished up here, he's going to be able to come out and put that Oracle pressure on and probably transition into Phoenixes, especially after he scouts what TY has been up to in this game so far.
Yeah, a couple of Phoenixes don't go astray, especially against these kind of mine drops.
Yeah, we saw a ton of Phoenix play out of stats yesterday in this matchup. He did incredibly well with it, and I think that's just what we're going to see here as well, most likely.
Oh yeah, it shuts it down. It shuts down mine drops so efficiently without, you know, having to go straight into Robo the instant it's finished. But he's going to queue up actually 2 Oracles before he tries to go for anything else.
Yeah, and this first Oracle is really going to be the first scout that he actually is able to get off in this game. He's sending a worker, I think, up to check the front right now as well. And that's going to be like the first piece of information that he gets. Starport just being made at home. Meanwhile, for TY.
Yep, just making those mines, getting turrets in both bases. Late one in the main, but you should have enough Marines to defer this Oracle away.
Yeah, the Oracle flew right into the watchtower, so he knew exactly that it was coming, where it was coming from. He's totally set up here. And we are going to see that transition to Phoenixes now as Trap realizes, okay, this is a quick factory follow-up. He doesn't have too much bio on the ground, so he can do this while getting my Robo a little bit later. But TY with the CC first is in a pretty good spot economic-wise, and he also shut down the Oracle Harass, so that's a lot of gas invested here for Trap that just hasn't gotten any return.
Yeah, look at this. He's adding a Raven after this. It's going straight into Raven. That's something we don't normally see too much. Yeah. And I think he's going to make a tech lab with the factory, but let's see if he's actually going to use that tech lab on the factory, or simply he's going to be used for that barracks.
That's a good question.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we saw yesterday a Raven just used to, deter observers from his base, so he's, denying information that way. But also, the Raven just got picked off by Phoenix Scouts, so it was kind of the sad, funny Raven. The Phoenix just came into Scout, and then the Raven just died.
Right. Yeah. Well, it looks like it will be used for the same sort of thing, it seems. And that tech lab simply for the barracks. So factory not going to be used in any sort of form currently.
Making add-ons straight up.
Yeah, not going to be a tank. No, it could have been a tank with a Raven, like some sort of funky style we might not see too much of, but
yeah. And we've seen TY do this before.
Yeah, exactly. I fear it's just going to get picked off eventually by these Phoenix.
Yeah, most likely. Just going to try to deter some scouting with it, I guess. And, he's building up a ton of barracks here. In fact, I think he just added 4 more on top of his 3. I think he's going up. Is that 6 barracks now? Or is it 7?
It's going to be 5.
Oh, I'm totally wrong. It's 5.
Oh, it's fine. Nearly. Yeah, 5 racks is kind of the norm for 2 bases. And no third CC on the way at all.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? This is a very greedy build from TY, but obviously he's not really been applying any pressure whatsoever like we do see from the more successful Terrans like Maru and whatnot, who will be just simply mind-dropping the entire game and trying to put Protoss on the back foot when it comes to economy.
Now that Raven did push that observer out, stop the scout. So he doesn't know how many barracks there are. He doesn't know if there's a third CC. Even picks off an SCV right here with his Stalker. And he's bringing 2 Oracles over here. I think just a tag. There's the first tag. He's going to pick off a Marine for free. And meanwhile, the Observer actually avoids the Raven.
Oh, wow.
Nice moves.
Good.
Oh.
Well.
I don't know if he saw that barracks, actually. Nope, he did not. So he doesn't have much information here for whether there's a third CC or not. I think he could tell it based on the army that he saw that probably not.
It's a pretty big army, right? Like it's kind of a scary sort of size for it. And he does have a Raven out as well. So it seems like he did invest in other things besides the third CC. Still no drops at all from TY. I feel this is it's such a dangerous thing to go against a Protoss like this. You're simply aiming for the mid to late game. You're going to be clashing big armies, which is, I feel like, more in Protoss' favor once they got their ball up and running.
You know what's really cool about how he's deciding to use these Oracles? He's just chaining together. Oh, I don't know if that's worth it.
Ooh.
Didn't even get it.
Well, he forced out the point defense drain in such a weird place.
True.
That's a pretty good move, I think. That's really going to weaken the drop that TY might have been waiting to do with this Raven, drop down some PDDs and simply extend the duration of that fight. But instead, it's going to be used at the Watchtower. Still completely revealed there as well.
Yeah, and that's what's been really cool about this. Like, when you have these 2 Oracles that haven't really used a lot of their energy, you're constantly able to chain these tags. He can chain them together. And because he always knows where the army is, as soon as he sees it's about to run out, he can grab it. And look at this. He's going to be able to grab this Raven now because he sees with that chain tag, it's out of position.
But look at this. We have 4 medivacs full of bio coming towards that pocket natural as well. This is going to be a pretty sticky situation for Trap. And he doesn't really have the vision he needs. He's going to run into the Phoenix eventually, but they're going to be simply landing there and not really take too much damage.
Trap's Oracle play this team has been godlike, but here's that scan. He sees there's nothing here but 2 Phoenixes. Has to recall from his third.
Oh, wow.
But that means his third is exposed now. He's only got a few Zealots here and an Oracle, so I think he's going to be in a lot of trouble dealing with that army. I think he's going to lose his third base potentially here, Moonglade. There's nothing here. He needs to turn and run over there to save that.
Yeah, I think he might actually just lose it. If not, he's going to be losing a lot of probes. He's going to go down, it seems. Ooh.
That Widowmine hit not doing him any favors.
No, not at all.
A lot of probes going down as well. But don't forget, TY's third base was canceled, and he still doesn't have a third base of his own. So this is still 2 base versus 2 base we're talking about here.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. But the drop's going to resume at that natural. We do have that mine up and running it once again as well. Just like Zealot's going to trigger it. Yep. And, Trap has kind of stabilized from here. But he's going to have to remake that base.
Oh, some serious damage there.
I think he was targeting the Colossus, but they just got out of range for one of them.
Yeah. But this has been very efficient trades here out of TY, and he's in such a great spot to attack this third base again. These Colossi don't have much of a buffer. He needs force fields. Oh boy, force fields way too late. Zealot's coming here, finally the tank. Another Colossus does join the fray, but there's so many Marauders, he can actually just step forward here and pick this Colossus off. Doesn't want to go too far though. It's a great Zealot warp in the block. Colossus does go down. This is again just being way too efficient of trading for TY. He's got a whole second wave to go and finish off some of these probes. I think this might actually just end the game.
I think so. It's just simply too much. TY found the momentum. He's not letting this go. The third is going to have to get denied again. And this is just looking absolutely horrible.
Even dropping a scan here. Make sure there's no observers to further his Widowmine usage.
Oh, yeah.
He saves the base for now, but TY's got, I think all he has to do is consolidate himself, jump into the drops. Yep.
He's up 40 supply at this point. You know, that's most of that is army supply. He's only got that third base up and running now. Another nice Widowmine hit. Hit that Colossus as well.
The only thing he's really missing is Vikings, right? But he's got so much bio that I don't think it really matters.
Oh, I don't think it matters at this point because there's simply not enough buffering for these Colossus that are here.
And I think this is just going to be the last nail in the coffin here because he's going to come in, even now on top of the tech, just outrunning this army so easily because even though there's Blink on these Stalkers, there's like no Stalkers. There's one Stalker on the map now.
Oh, yeah. It's just going to get dropped as well. And now we see the army getting split up again. Colossus actually split up this time. And a red one trying to fight an army on the right side.
Boom, it's gone. And again, finally able to like use his Colossus range to pick off one Widowmine. That's all he's going to get. This Colossus gets burst down.
Yep, not a chance at all. And I think we're going to see Trap tap out in just a second.
Yeah, Trap really the favorite here, but TY playing a great game. GG. What a great game out of TY.
Yeah, it's a bit of some of the old TY that we did see last year. And a good map to do it on, you know. He played the map very well. Got that economy booming before he started the drops, and it was simply too spread out for Trap to really do anything about it.
He kind of went against the grain of the meta, too. He stayed on 2-base for a really long time.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm just going to hardcore 2-base, 5 racks, never take a third until after I've really hit yours so hard. And he was, you know, he was constantly able with this first wave of units, but he managed to keep his second wave so hidden that it totally blindsided Trap when he sent those 3-4 medevacs into the pocket natural. And that's where things started to go awry. Had he been able to hold on to those a little bit stronger, then I feel like eventually the 3-base economy of Trap would have kicked in too much, but he was just constantly eliminating the Colossi. And if you eliminate the Colossi, you keep the Colossus count low, you don't need Vikings to fight this army anymore.
Yeah, exactly that. And because he invested so much in Stargate units, Trap, like, he didn't really get Blink Stalkers or enough Blink Stalkers out at all. Not really anything to deter these drops from happening, which is so important. And yeah, he did go for that third base, but it was so thinly stretched because of these Stargate units he invested in that it just wasn't enough to defend against anything.
Trap looking pretty beat up of himself after losing that one. This is a great start for KT Rolster to get that momentum going, to get TY on the front line. Somebody that, frankly, I feel like most JinAir players are thinking to themselves, like they definitely have a contingency plan here, but they're mostly thinking, okay, if Trap's going to take this, we're thinking about Game 3 if Trap loses Game 2.
Yeah.
But now they've got to kind of totally rethink how they're going to take this, whereas KT has got this sick start, such a great bonus here going into this one.
Yeah, well, who are they going to play on this map? It's going to be merry-go-round. Are they going to throw out Rogue, perhaps? That could be a pretty good choice, I'd have to say. I doubt they want to use Maru just yet.
You know, that's a good question.
They don't want to use the Protoss on this map, not against TY, and especially not after how TY played that last game.
You know, I wouldn't mind to see Rogue here.
I think it'd be Rogue. I think this is the time Rogue has to come out.
I'm trying to think of like anyone else it could be. It almost feels too simple. Like it's got to be Rogue, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We'll find out in just a second.
You know, I feel like they might consider SOS here because he loves to do his sneaky, crazy snipe builds in this matchup, and this is the only map where SOS is going to be able to potentially come out and know his opponent, but TY can't have prepared for SOS. He can't have known it was SOS for sure. But I feel like there's like, that's like, in my mind, like less than 15% chance. I feel like there's like a slight possibility they want to send SOS and do some weird, tricky stuff, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a hard map for Protoss against Terran, and this, like, merry-go-round, so hard to take that third base, way harder than Vaani research, and you're just going to get spread out even more from these Terran drops.